Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. Last time we left off with honors for heroes of sea battle. Talking about men fighting in the Pacific and their victories in the sea. Specifically in the battle at the Philippine Sea. We're now on to the Nazis launch the rocket bomb. October 1944. German rocket bomb. Early in October, the enemy began in earnest their rocket bomb attacks against southern England, and these continued through the autumn and winter months. While the rocket was much less accurate than a flying bomb, it was a more deadly weapon, making a crater 30 feet deep and causing damage over a wide area. Much larger than the flying bomb, its warhead contained 2,000 pounds of explosives. Its flight could not be intercepted, and moreover, the small platform used as launching sites were hard to destroy by bombing. Most of the rockets, which fell in England, were fired from the sites in Holland. The weapon had a range of about 200 miles and ascended 60 or 70 miles during flight. This special drawing illustrates detailed construction of the rocket bomb and shows how it raised into firing position. So, flying bomb, what are they talking about? Obviously, they're talking about an early form of rocket, missile, whichever you like to use. And they were a very scary thought, that it's something, like they said, you couldn't really intercept it. It was fast. It was unmanned, so you didn't have to worry. You couldn't even worry about a pilot. There was nothing you could. It was just a bomb. So we're gonna go down the little drawing here. Here's the outline showing like how tall it would stand, and here is another rocket in the background as another example. So at the top is the contact point. So where the bomb obviously would hit the warhead, which is I think it's supposed to be 5 to 7 feet, but I could be wrong about that, and 3 feet in diameter. There's radio equipment right in there, plywood frame, nitrogen bottles, gyros. Obviously the gyros are to help keep it level. There's alcohol tank for fuel, steel framework to hold in the alcohol tank, a cradle, which I'm not sure what that is for, an outer casing, which is the wall, more so, liquid oxygen tank, once again more fuel, I believe, double-walled alcohol pipe delivery to pump, firing point, 60 meters, oxygen filling point, hydrogen peroxide tank, air bottles, right there. Alcohol supply from pump, right there. We have the turbine and pump assembly, which you can see in there, obviously. The raising ram, so this helps raise it up from the platform, which is just like a semi-truck bed, more or less. There's the combustion chamber, right in here. And then 5-foot-high metal support table with 6 inch thickness. 6 inch thickness. So you can see where it sits up and where the raising arm gets it to. And then 4 external vanes, or 4 external control vanes. And then obviously it shoots from right here. And obviously, like they said, this would hit southern England. They terrorized southern England. Mostly they were in the Netherlands. They keep saying Holland, but the Netherlands. Yeah. But and now obviously there is some conspiracy with this, and some of it's not so much conspiracy. The German inventors of this were more or less captured And they were given one of two options. One, they could work for the Americans or the Soviets, or they could be charged with everyone else, be sentenced to death. Many of them chose going with the Americans and Soviets, because why wouldn't you? And this is the technology that gets us to the moon. It's kind of one of those gray areas in history where it's like you used people who were definitely doing some other nefarious things, very not great people potentially, and they helped to get man into space, helped get man to the moon. It's one of those, was it worth it? That's for, I think, everyone to decide personally. Now that we looked at that, here it shows the rescue work after a rocket incident in London. So, obviously it's showing the damage that it can do. Now, a bombing run would do more damage, obviously. You're getting more bombs down, things like that. But for one warhead to do this, it's unmanned, almost unstoppable. This is way more effective. Obviously, and also you don't have to try to get the planes up. If you don't have the air support, you don't need it. You could just fire the missiles. They can find their target, hit their target, almost impossible to stop them. Even nowadays, it's very hard to stop missiles. Now we have countermeasures, usually other missiles. There is a laser, I believe, that is being used to also shoot down missiles. It basically messes with their targeting, and so it blows them up in midair. Interesting technology, really. Sadly, the future of war started here. On the 5th Army Front in Italy, October 1944, with the 92nd Division. Members of an all-Negro, yes, obviously an old book, African-American, what we would say today, 92nd Division, pour a stream of fire on the Nazi Gothic line in Italy. This was as tough a front as any in the war, and the men were glad to stand in line. Below, to get a welcome shower to wash away the dirt and grime of many days of active combat duty in a rough sector. Yeah, so obviously the reason they're kind of talking about this is it's kind of a big deal. There hasn't been many at this point African-American groups. It's just not really happened. There was one in the Civil War, and I believe that was the 52nd Infantry. Someone had to correct me on that. I know but there was a division, in the Civil War, but kind of got disbanded after the war. In the First World War, there wasn't really this. This didn't happen. There were African-American men that fought, but they fought for mostly the French. The French were a little bit more progressive with that. And yeah, it's showing them saying, hey, look, see, these boys are fighting, so they're not getting left behind. They're able to fight for their country like they would like to. And then after this war, there is, I think it's Korea or Vietnam, one of the two, where they get fully mixed. So they're no longer just, because it's still Jim Crow, things like that, but there's no longer separated divisions. There are now mixed. And so there's white, there's African American. So there's white American, African American. There's also Asian American. They have talked about the Asian Americans, mostly on the Western Front, more so, not just in Italy, not in the Italian front. Yeah. Mosquitoes sting the Gestapo. October 31st, 1944. German headquarters is bombed. On October 31st, a daring low-level attack was made by Mosquitoes of the RAF Tactical Air Force on the Gestapo headquarters, housed in the University of Aarhus, Denmark. Two adjoining 4-story buildings formed the target, and to obtain accuracy in bombing, a model was especially built for the crews. The top photograph shows two of the Mosquitoes over the target with bombs falling. The picture below, taken by a reconnaissance plane from almost rooftop high shows the success of the attack. Yeah, this is daring. The Gestapo, not very great, obviously. So this daring attack blows up headquarters. Now, does it actually maybe do all that much besides morale hit? Probably not. And if it's even that big of a morale hit, who's to say? I don't think many Germans would mind if the Gestapo was hit. Just saying. But yeah, you can clearly see the damage. They hit their target. Smoked out ruins. Everything. So it's a good hit. Good bombing run. And good on them. And with that, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Tell me what I could improve on. I always appreciate your feedback. And as always, subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Thank you.